Hello, and thank you very much for inviting me and inviting us, actually, to share our experience in this event, which, for very obvious and truthful reasons, shines a light on your work. As Mr. Vladimir Susha said in the morning, you cannot compare cities, and you cannot really compare also European Capitals of Culture programs. But at the same time, as people in general, we are comparing things in our everyday lives all the time. For instance, when I came to this venue in the morning, I looked at a big area close to the Faculty of Music, and because I have small kids, I said, whoa, this is a very nice place where I could bring my kids to play. But when doing policy and evaluation, I don't think we can take this road, and we need to compare only, again, as Mr. Susha suggested, in looking at the best features of other cities or programs that can maybe give an inspiration for the way that we will also want to move forward. And in that sense, I invite you to look at the presentation, the short presentation I prepared, with this perspective. So just briefly, for you to get a glimpse at our program, this was the vision that we had for the program. So our vision, our main concept, was to create the conditions for the courage needed to generate a new sense of community in the context of the deep crisis of confidence and insecurity which both Europe and Timișoara face in the 21st century. This was our vision in 2016, and it is very evocative for the spirit of Timișoara, which has considered itself a deeply European city from the beginning onwards. And for us, joining the EU was more than a pragmatic opportunity. It was the sense of belonging to the European space with the European values. For Timișoara and for Romania in general, good governance, anti-corruption were very important things. Community development at the same time, a new spirit of engagement and active participation are not just words. And for Timișoara in particular, which is the city where the anti-communist revolution started in 1989, this is particularly true. And all our program was in this frame of putting civic energy in motion from the culture, social, educational, economic sides towards this concept. In that sense, some people said that our program is not so artistic, that we are instrumentalizing culture, but I think that till the end, it was obvious that you can have both arts, civic activities, educational and social impact together. It's not easy, and we don't have time to go into how we did it. But I think that it's really important to consider that this was the personality of the program that we put together. And in that sense, the monitoring and evaluation plan that we put together for the last phase of the preparation and the evaluation that we are actually working on now, that we have to finish until the end of the year. Apart from just the very key basic data about participation, engagement, number of events, we focused a lot on the governance of the program, on the social impact, the audience engagement. And in that sense, the legacy plan that we just finalized, and it is supposed to enter into the new strategy, it also focuses on reconfirming the objectives that we had about putting civic energy in motion in Timișoara for the future of the city. I will also make a parallel to another thing that I think was very interesting for the morning presentations. And I think this is the connection to your example, the Veszprém-Balaton experience, that for us, it was very important to build trust and to build connections when there was not so much trust and competition was fierce. Another thing about Timișoara, it is a very entrepreneurial city. So it is a city where people find it difficult sometimes to work together. They have this drive of self-reliance. They want to show how good they are, what amazing artistic experience they can deliver. And in a city with this personality, to bring together, to bring people together for an objective of coming together, working together for this joint vision of community engagement and development, it is and it was a challenge. Of course, because we are now in a very short presentation where data is needed, these are our most popular type of events. But again, you see that the number of concerts and exhibitions, which are usually the most common type of artistic events, is matched by the number of workshops. So workshops, in a very, very general term, are the type of activities which are more interactive, which are more bringing people together to work on something together. So I think this division between concerts, exhibitions, and workshop shows you that we really managed to also put the interactive people-to-people experience at the heart of the program. These are, again, some data that are always needed for evaluation, surveys about participation. Here are some numbers about attending at least one of the major events of the culture program. These are some numbers showing the attendance of at least once of people from Timișoara attending Timișoara 2023 cultural program event. This is the number of participants in general to events from the cultural program of the Timișoara capital of culture. We also have number of visitors in the city center, like Veszprém did based on mobile data. We also have an estimate of 14 to 15.8 million visitors in the city center. One of the big things that we managed to do is to open up spaces for the community. Managed by the Center for Projects of the Municipality of Timișoara. So these are spaces which are quite varied in size and in the technical equipment that they provide. And they are open to the community in the sense that based on a very simple request, you can take this space for your artistic events. And this has really encouraged people to propose new activities and events. Public cinemas, they were reopened in the last preparation year and the second one in October last year, and they are really doing amazing. I will go very briefly because the time is very short. This is the way that we managed to also decentralize the places where arts are taking place. So this is the geographical print of what I said before, that we have taken outside of the city center the places where culture happens. This is the way that we have worked together with partners from across the country. You can see, of course, the neighbors, but also Cluj and Bucharest, of course. This is the way we work together with other European partners. Romania is particular in that sense because we were historically closer to France and Germany than we were to our neighbors. And you can see that Germany and Serbia, because of the the neighborhood status, are in the top, but also France. Hungary, of course, with 22 partners. And this is the map that I like most. This shows the number of connections that has grown from 2016 to 2023. The connections between the actors, the way that the nodes have become more. I do not have time to go into this, but I can tell you what our colleague, the science officer, has told me, our network analyst. That is, what is surprising in the case of Timișoara is that usually when the ecosystem of culture organization grows, almost 3 times it grew in Timișoara from 2022 to 2023, usually the level of cohesion decreases, while in the case of Timișoara, it increased. That means that although more organizations took part in the program in 2023, so more than 800 organizations, they were much closer than they were before. So they stuck together, even though the numbers grew 3 times. That shows you a type of dynamic that is very much about connection and not about spread. And this is the organization that I work for. I think a lot of the positive results that we got are due to 3 things, and they are related to creative bureaucracy. And one of them is the institutional design of the way that the grant making and the curatorial program evolved. The other one is the governance design. So I don't have time to go into it. I'm actually above the time that I was given. But the governance design of our program was a partnership, a collaboration, a complementarity between the municipality, the county, the Ministry of Culture, and the association, in a way that was complicated, but it made a lot of sense, and it worked until the end. We also tried the association, so an NGO managing the program for the first 5 years. That didn't work out. So in the end, we found our governance format that worked for us, and I think that's really, really important. And the third element is the funding design. So the grant-making scheme, the way the money was distributed, was very important, and it relates to what I said in the beginning, building trust. So the funding design and the design of the grant schemes was essential in our case, especially for the last phase of the implementation. And that's it. I'm sorry, Dora, for taking too much time, but it's almost mission impossible to, to present data in a way that makes sense without also giving more context. So thank you and sorry.
Thank you very much, Raluca.